This is DC Danton Crusader. It's the 6th of June, and you haven't heard from me in a while, but the last video I took before I left for Seattle, and yes, I was 12 days, including traveling time, in Seattle, Washington, visiting my son. And of course, I didn't want to talk about that, but yeah. So I'm back now. I hear our little birds. The weird thing is I don't hardly see any pigeons here, but Bryant, unfortunately, when I was gone, the day after I left, the district attorney filed more criminal charges, so that I was spoiling the nature by feeding the birds. Yeah, believe it. Believe it. Not Bryant, who was feeding the birds for the last 2 weeks, but me. And I wasn't even here. So I guess that shows you how bad it is with the discrimination against women. It's very obvious that they're only after me. So with that, so I have to have another court proceeding, and it just goes on and on and on. So we're going to feed the birds in here. Bryant was feeding them by the sidewalk. We're going to feed them here. You see that there's no birds here. No Seymour. Seymour gave up. I think Bryant was throwing down only so many eggs. Probably wasn't enough. When I came back, half the eggs were still there. So perhaps Seymour got frustrated. Somehow the birds seem kind of upset here. Look at this. Not sure what's going on there, but they see something. I do see a silver gull here. Maybe that's Seymour. I don't know. Is there someone here they didn't like? I don't know. It was rainy and cold in Seattle. We had one sunny day the whole time, but just being with my son, as any of you people that are separated from loved ones for long periods of time, it's very, very hard. So, but all in all, I had a great, despite the weather, we went out, did a little walking, enjoyed the parks where he lives, and such a beautiful area. And by the way, something very interesting. I'll talk about it in another video when I have more time. I have so much work to catch up on. But I wanted to say just shortly, one of the very interesting things that I saw in the area where he's living in Washington State, or I don't think they do this everywhere, but in this particular county, they really enjoy wildlife, and they're very conscious about taking away the habitat from the wildlife. And they set up, when they put a housing development on, they leave a piece of land. First of all, they have a policy of building the houses very, very close together. Just minimum land taking away from the habitat, from the environment. And then they set aside a couple of acres of land as part of the development that's going to stay, they call it critical area, and they have a sign there. And that those acres, it could be 5 acres, could be 10 acres, could be 20 acres of land. And it's all over the place. In every area, at least within that county in Washington State, and they're called critical areas. And they fence in the area, no matter how big it is. And It can never be lumbered. Nothing, no one's allowed in there, and it's left totally to the wildlife. And when you walk by a critical area, the underbrush is so thick and the trees are so big, because many of those trees haven't been lumbered for at least 100, 200 years. And they're just huge. They're 200 to 300 meters high. And it's just an unbelievable thing. And you just hear the birds. Unbelievable amount of birds. Everywhere else in the developments, it's silent. And in the natural habitat, in the critical area, all you hear is birds. It is absolutely, absolutely amazing. So, yeah. So there are areas around the world that are aware of the habitat loss and what it means to the environment and to the species of animals on this planet. And they are aware of it, and they're doing something about it. Here, it's just the opposite. Here, the people are taking everything away from the animals, destroying all the habitat, and not giving any of it back. Okay? And on top of it, the poor animals that are left in the area, they're exterminating them, right? They're exterminating them by shooting them and poisoning them. They just don't want it. They want here a dead zone. Kreuzlingen is becoming a dead zone. Last area is the Seeburg Park, and even there, they cut down all the brush, they cut down all the trees. There's just no place for the animals to go. And most of the wildlife is gone from the Seeburg Park. So it is an unbelievable thing. Yeah. Well, we haven't put our food down there for the birds, and we'll see what happens. Nobody's going after it right now, but then they have to get used to me coming out here, don't they? I thought about an experiment of only letting Bryant feed the birds, and the last 2 days I did have him do that. So incredibly tired, and I was so glad I didn't come home sick, although I can't say I feel totally well, but it is a long trip. We have one gull here, but he's not saying a word, so I have no idea. Is that Seymour? He's not saying anything. And where are the other gulls? Right? There are no gulls here. The last video did not take, and it was unfortunate because there were a lot of nice birds there, mule gulls and the silver gulls, but it's always a bit like this when I'm not when I'm gone. Like I say, there's very few pigeons here. I don't know what happened to all the pigeons. We don't know. The poisoning, the handler did something. We don't know. Or they're locked up today. They're not set free. That could be it too. I don't know. I'd have to ask Brian about that. Anyway, I'm back. And all you enemies out there, including the district attorney and the city council members, yes, until I leave here, I will continue to feed the birds. And if you want to put me in prison for doing that, for making an example and setting an example to take care and give back, okay, to the animals that you were exterminating, then do it. Then do it. I'm ready to go. But be aware, everyone else on this planet is going to know. Okay? And by the way, I've already started while I was in Seattle. I've already started the outline for the next novel that I'm going to write alongside the sequel to A Heart for Baby that I've been, working on here and there. I'll be writing that, and I'll be starting now the book about this project and how it impacted this village of the damned, and what it has meant to me and what it has meant to the birds. And I'm getting that down in a novel format, a work of nonfiction, because there's nothing in there that didn't happen and that isn't documented. So it will go out as a work of nonfiction. There's no one to protect. I'm not going to protect the police department or the district attorney or the city council members. I'm not going to protect them, and why should I? That's all public record of what they've done. So this is DC Danton, Crow Crusader, ever vigilant, ever working on behalf of the wildlife and the wild birds. Love your birds, stay safe, enjoy your Thursday wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Glad to be back. Yeah, got a lot to do, got so much to do, and don't know how to get it all done, but I will get it done. And at the same time, I'm not going to forego my birds. I'm not going to throw them in a dumpster because of very hateful, disturbed people. Okay? So they need to move along with the times. They need to listen to the latest article that's been published by the federal government in Switzerland about the destruction of habitat and the decline of species in Switzerland, which exceeds every country in Europe and many countries around the world. Switzerland has a problem. You people have a problem. So step up and do something about it. This is DC Danton, Crow Crusader, over and out.